Hi everyone, my name is Chinmay Thakur, a second year medical student, and today we will do abdomen examination. Before examining the abdomen, make sure that the patient has an empty bladder. Make the patient comfortable in the supine position with a pillow under the head and perhaps under the knees. Ask the patient to keep the arms at the sides or folded across the chest. For inspection, first, observe the general appearance of the patient lying quietly, writhing with discomfort or gripping one side. Note especially the skin including the temperature, color, scars, striae, dilated veins, rashes. For the umbilicus, observe its contour and location and any inflammation or bulges suggesting a ventral hernia. Inspect the symmetry and contour of abdomen. Is it flat, rounded, protuberant or scaphoid? Are there any local bulges? Look for the peristalsis and pulsations. For auscultation, warm your hands and stethoscope. Place the diaphragm of your stethoscope gently on the abdomen. Listen for bowel sounds and note their frequency and character. Normal sound consists of clicks and gurgles, occurring at an estimated frequency of 5 to 34 per minute. If the patient has hypertension, auscultate the epigastrium. Percuss the abdomen lightly in all four quadrants to determine the distribution of tympani and dullness. Note any dull areas suggesting an underlying mass or enlarged organ. Next, for palpation, keeping your hand with fingers together and flat on the abdominal wall, palpate the abdomen with a light, gentle dipping motion. Identify any superficial organs or masses and any area of tenderness or increased resistance to palpation. Deep palpation is usually required. Using the palmar surfaces of your fingers, press down in all four quadrants. Identify any masses, note their location, size, shape, consistency, tenderness, pulsations, and any mobility with respiration or pressure from the examining hand. Percuss the span of lever. First, locate the midclavicular line. Use a light to moderate percussion. Starting at a level well below the umbilicus in the right lower quadrant in an area of tympani, percuss upward toward the lever. Identify the lower border of dullness in the midclavicular line. Next, identify the upper border of lever dullness starting at nipple line, percuss downward in the midclavicular line until lung resonance shifts to lever dullness. Measure the span of lever dullness between those 2 points. Normally, the lever span is greater in men than in women. For palpation of lever, place your left hand behind the patient, parallel to and supporting the right 11th and 12th ribs and adjacent soft tissues below. Place your right hand on the patient's right abdomen lateral to the rectus muscle with your fingertips well below the lower border of the lever dullness. Press gently into the abdomen and ask the patient to take a deep breath. Try to feel the lever edge as it slides down to meet your fingertips. Note any tenderness. The normal lever may be slightly tender. If you cannot feel the edge, move your palpating hand closer to the costal margin and try again. The hooking technique may be helpful. Place both hands on the right abdomen below the border of lever dullness. Press in with your fingers and up toward the costal margin. Ask the patient to take a deep breath. For assessing percussion tenderness of a non-palpable lever, Place your left hand flat on the lower right rib cage and gently strike your hand with the ulnar surface of your right fist. Tenderness over the lever suggests inflammation. For percussion, to detect splenomegaly, an enlarged spleen, percuss the left lower anterior chest wall roughly from the border of cardiac dullness at the sixth rib to the anterior axillary line and down to the costal margin, an area termed Traub space. Note the lateral extent of the tympani. If tympani is prominent, especially laterally, splenomegaly is unlikely. Check for splenic percussion signs. Percuss the lowest interspace in the left anterior axillary line. This area is usually tympanitic. To palpate the spleen, with your left hand, reach over and around the patient to support and press forward the lower left rib cage and adjacent soft tissues. With your right hand below the left costal margin, press in toward the spleen. Ask the patient to take a deep breath. Try to feel the tip or edge of the spleen as it comes down to meet your fingertips. Tip of the spleen is palpable only in 5% of normal adults. To palpate the left kidney, move to the patient's left side. Place your right hand behind the patient just below and parallel to the 12th rib. Place your left hand gently in the left upper quadrant, lateral and parallel to the rectus muscle. Ask the patient to take a deep breath. At the peak of inspiration, press your left hand firmly and deeply into the left upper quadrant, just below the costal margin. Try to capture the kidney between your two hands. Ask the patient to breathe out and then to stop breathing briefly. Slowly release the pressure of your left hand, feeling at the same time for the kidney to slide back into its expiratory position. If the kidney is palpable, describe its size, contour, and any tenderness. Percuss the tenderness of the kidney over the costovertebral angle. Use fist percussion. Place the ball of one hand in the costovertebral angle and strike it with the ulnar surface of your fist. Assess the aorta. Press firmly deep in the epigastrium, slightly to the left of the midline, and identify the aortic pulsation. In adults over age 50 years, assess the width of the aorta by pressing deeply in the upper abdomen with one hand on each side of the aorta. Normally, it should be less than 3 cm. Test for shifting dullness. Percuss the border of tympani and dullness with the patient supine. Then ask the patient to roll onto one side. Percuss and mark the borders again. In a person without ascites, the border between tympani and dullness usually stays relatively constant. To test for a fluid wave, ask the patient or an assistant to press the edges of both hands firmly down the midline of the abdomen. This pressure helps to stop the transmission wave through fat. While you tap one flank sharply with your fingertips, feel on the opposite flank for an impulse transmitted through the fluid. Unfortunately, this sign is often negative until ascites is obvious, and it is sometimes positive in people without ascites. Palpate carefully for an area of local tenderness. Classically, McBurney point lies 2 inches from the anterior superior spinous process of ileum on a line drawn from that process to the umbilicus. Palpate for rousing sign and referred rebound tenderness. Press deeply and evenly in the left lower quadrant, then quickly withdraw your fingers. Pain in the right lower quadrant during left-sided pressure is a positive rousing sign. Assess the psoas sign. Place your hand just above the patient's right knee and ask the patient to raise that thigh against your hand. Alternatively, ask the patient to turn onto the left side. Then extend the patient's right leg at the hip. Flexion of the leg at the hip makes the psoas muscle contract and extension stretches it. Increased abdominal pain on either maneuver is a positive psoas sign, suggesting irritation of psoas muscle by an inflamed appendix. Assess the obturator sign. Flex the patient's right thigh at the hip with the knee bent and rotate the leg internally at the hip. This maneuver stretches the internal obturator muscle. Right hypogastric pain is a positive obturator sign from irritation of obturator muscle by an inflamed appendix. When there is a pain in right upper quadrant and tenderness suggests acute cholecystitis, assess Murphy sign. Hook your left thumb or fingers of your right hand under the costal margin at the point where the lateral border of the rectus muscle intersects with the costal margin. Alternatively, palpate the right upper quadrant with the fingers of your right hand near the costal margin. If the lever is enlarged, hook your thumb or fingers under the lever edge at a comparable point. Ask the patient to take a deep breath which forces the liver and gallbladder down toward the examining fingers. Watch the patient's breathing and note the degree of tenderness.